Our job of the show is to show you things that maybe you don't get to see, but maybe you're a little bit curious about. Or not, but we're going to show you why you should be curious. We're in front of the Buena Park Police Department, and we're going to take you behind the counter. This is Crime Watch. Let's go. Hello and welcome to Crime Watch. I'm Jane Cameron with Sergeant Chris Nunez of the Buena Park Police Department. Today, for part of our show, we're going to take you to a place where you normally don't get to go, and that's the Buena Park Police Department front counter. Sergeant Nunez, what happens up here at the counter?
Well, actually quite a bit. If anyone has any type of business with the police department at all, usually this is where it starts. So anywhere from obtaining records, police reports, to bailing people out of jail, to getting live scan processing, for a position or to become a coach or something like that. I
know from the past getting releases on vehicles.
That happens a lot up here, getting vehicles released. So any variety, it's really all over the board. So we get other law enforcement agencies that come here, so it's really wide open. So their hours are pretty long. The desk has staffing 7 days a week.
I notice they wear blue uniform shirts. Are they not police officers?
They are not police officers. They're civilian employees of the police department, so they do, conform to our policy in terms of uniform appearance and so on. So not to be confused with being a sworn police officer. Their uniform is different, so they wear a light blue shirt.
And their title is?
They're community service aides, a CSA for short. And we have a number of these employees, there are actually 10 that we have that get scheduled over the course of the week.
Well, enough talk here. I promised you that we were going to take you to the other side of the counter, so we're going to do that right now. So this is the other side of the counter. It may look like it's just paperwork and phones and computers, but there's a lot more that they do, and probably services that you might need while you live in the city of Buena Park. So let's go and interview somebody who I'm sure is willing to be on camera. Amy Earle is one of the community service aides. Amy, tell me a little bit of the type of things that you do up here.
We typically do vehicle releases for cars that have been impounded or stored. We take crime reports for low-level crimes. We offer live scan fingerprinting. We offer RV parking permits. We offer open vacation checks and report requests for any type of police report.
That's interesting because just with the various offers that she has to the community, there are things that, whether you're not in trouble, things that anybody could use, like a vacation check or possibly a live scan, which we'll talk about in a minute. I would think that with all of the different opportunities that you provide the community here, you probably had training in order to do it.
We do not go through an academy like a normal police officer. Once we're hired here, we are actually trained by senior CSA staff and under the advisement of our sergeants.
Good point. You must have people up here who are hysterical or frantic, whether it be a car was towed or they think that they're supposed to run up here in an emergency. How do you handle those kinds of situations?
We try not to make the situation worse. We try to help them the best of our knowledge. If we need a supervisor, we'll call one up. We don't really have people responding for 911 emergencies. They'll normally call those in, but people are not very happy when their cars have been towed, and we just try to help them the best way we can.
That would be very difficult, I would think. People aren't happy. You mentioned live scan. What is that?
Live scan fingerprinting is electronic fingerprinting. So as opposed to ink cards where we put ink on your fingers and stamp it on a piece of paper, this is done on a computer and scanning all of your fingers, and we send them away to the Department of Justice and FBI for background clearance for employment.
So does that mean that you offer those services to the public
Yeah, they're open to residents and non-residents of Buena Park.
with a fee?
Yes, we charge a $15 rolling fee for Buena Park residents and $20 for non-residents. Other fees may apply if your agency is not taking care of those for you.
You mentioned vacation checks. How do vacation checks work?
Vacation checks can be done over the phone or they can be done in person. We will take down the dates that you will be gone on vacation, your home address, and emergency contact information. So actually the residence information and a close relative or friend to contact, and we'll ask questions regarding, if there are any animals in the house, or if you have an alarm system, if anyone should be entering the house to take care of pets or plants. And we actually have volunteers that will drive by the house and make sure everything's in order the days that you're gone. And if they see anything suspicious, they will call patrol officers to respond and investigate.
That's nice. I know that most people, when they go on vacation, they want somebody to take a look at their house and just make sure that nothing happens, good or bad.
Yeah, we get a fair amount of requests like this, and as Amy said, those requests can actually be called in over the phone, and a CSA will take all that information down. And you notice the computer here, they are connected to our CAD and RMS system, so they can actually create a call if they need to, and in this case with vacation checks, they collect all the information, and then that request goes to our volunteer group. In fact, we've highlighted them in the past in prior shows, our CAPS volunteers. So they'll get the list, and when they go out on patrol, part of their duties are to just go down the list of addresses, and they'll park the car and get out and walk up to the front of the house, make sure everything is in order. And if they see something suspicious or something that they think should get checked, then they will ask for a police response, and then we can go and check on it.
In this show, typically we talk about the officers in the field and the patrol and the responses, but there's a whole nother component of the services that the Buena Park Police Department provides to the community that has nothing to do with those emergency situations, but they're still not even nice to haves, they're need to have, things that people need.
Yeah, there's a large variety of activity that happens at a police department, and sometimes right now is not necessarily representative of what it's normally like up here. Sometimes there's a line out the door, and phones are ringing, and it's a really busy desk, and we're like that often. So like we mentioned earlier in the show, there's a lot of reasons why people may come to the police department, and it's not always a bad thing or something negative.
Okay. And in the meantime, we've got Amy and the other men and women up here just making sure that they take those non-emergency type things off from the police officers' tasks, and they can go out and patrol the community and do the jobs they need to do.
Right. Often employees that take these entry-level positions in a police department. It's a civilian spot, like Amy mentioned. She doesn't have to go to police academy to get this position. A lot of times those employees are interested in becoming police officers or working for a police department in other capacity. So this gives them great opportunity for experience, and one of the most valuable opportunities to develop some skills is dealing with frustrated people, which they do almost daily. They have to multitask up here. So, these are really valuable employees, and are an important asset for us.
Another component of the Buena Park Police Department are blue shirts in the field too, but you aren't a community service aide.
Right. This is Peter. His position is police service aide. So all the things that the CSAs do at the front desk we just talked about, Peter can also do that, but the difference in his job description versus the staff at the front desk is he actually can go out into the field on calls. So I guess this truck behind us was a call that he got from dispatch, so he came out here to check on the status of the truck and so on. It doesn't necessarily take a police officer to handle this kind of a call, which is exactly Peter's role, or the PSA's role in the field, to relieve the sworn police officers from, the more minor types of calls.
So Peter, what was this call that you've been sent out on?
Somebody called dispatch and complained about a vehicle's been out here for a week. So we come out here and make sure that the vehicle's not stolen, it's not abandoned, and it's not involved in some kind of a high-risk crime or anything. So the dispatch does all their work. So after they cleared everything that it's not a stolen vehicle, they called me out here so I could mark the vehicle. I did talk to the neighbors out here. They don't recognize who's the vehicle. They don't know who the owner is. And I came out here and I marked the vehicle for 72 hours. We have a municipal code in the city that if the vehicle's not moved within 72 hours, it's going to be towed. So what I did is I came in here and looked at the vehicle, made sure that there's no children or anything involved in a crime or anything inside of the vehicle. And I marked that information. And now we'll just wait for 3 days, and the 15th we come over here. If it's still here within that time frame, it will be towed.
So it's interesting that even though the neighbor saw this car for a week, yes, that 72-hour time clock doesn't start till somebody from the police department.
Come over here. We have to come over here. Dispatch has to have it on log. We put it on the radio. They keep track of these things to show proof that we actually were out here and marked the vehicle for 72 hours. So for us to come over here, there's some paperwork that I have to do. I marked the vehicle on the left side tire and I put it on the ground to show that the tire has not been moved when we come back. And what happens is that I also leave an actual tag on the windshield, so the owner, if somebody passes by, recognizes it very, very clearly that there's a note on it.
Well, and that the neighbors know that if somebody has reported it and the police department has followed up. It's interesting to see all this because somebody might think, oh, this is not that big of a deal, but if you're one of the neighbors in this area, it's a huge deal.
A lot of the tips we get are from neighbors calling on things that just don't fit on their street, and a lot of times, a vehicle like this could be involved in a crime, just hasn't been reported yet. It could be a stolen vehicle that hasn't been reported yet, and we can kind of get those, like an early warning, and once we get those calls and we can kind of start looking into it, sometimes it's nothing. Sometimes it can lead to other things. So it's proactive work.
Well, again, it's talking about that partnership with the community because the police officers, all of the police department can't be everywhere all the time, and you need all those eyes. I noticed that Peter is wearing a bulletproof vest. Why?
Well, one, he works in the field. He's wearing a uniform, identifies him as being associated with the police department. Two, in his role as a PSA, he can actually issue citations, and that can get...
People don't like getting parking tickets, do they?
No, they don't. It's a last resort. We try to work with the community. I think of it as myself. Do I really need to push this? Do I need to go with this? The most important thing is just compliance. That's all we're asking for. The police department's here to assist the public in any kind of shape, form, fashion. We're here for them. And sometimes we got to take enforcement actions. And, if there's no law, there's no enforcement, there's no law. So it needs to work together. And we try to find that mid-ground.
Over and over again, for all the many years that I've done this show, I am so impressed by all of the police department employees and whatever idea people may have out in the in the public about law enforcement. I know we try to expel that idea because really you're all here, it's not just a job, but it's about caring about the job and caring about the community.
I think the police department employees that really excel at what they're doing are the ones that do just that do care. Now, in reality, and in any profession, you can find people that are just stamping the clock, You know, they show up, they do their thing, and then they go home. And certainly there are individuals like that in law enforcement. But I would say by and large, we make connections with people in the community, whether it's business community or schools or in neighborhoods like this. And over time, I've been out here for a long time working, within the city, and I've met a lot of people. And some I've become friends with on a personal level, but many of those acquaintances that I've developed are important to me, and some have lasted for many, many years.
Well, even beyond the acquaintances, it's in his heart, it's in your heart, it's in the other employees that you just care. It's not about whether you even know the person that you're working with, helping, arresting, whatever it may be. It's that you really care about doing the job right, and taking the extra effort to do it the right way.
Sure. We've talked a lot about, delivering professional service. So, and Peter mentioned, we're here to support the community and provide a service. And really, I can't underscore that enough. And I will tell you that it really doesn't matter what police department you're talking about. I know that law enforcement can be an easy target for criticism. And sometimes I think we should be in a position to have to explain why and how we do certain things in certain cases. But most of the people that I know, without exception, are professionals and really care about their career and the community they serve.
We've been talking in the show about how there's so much more activity that goes on, that you have employees in the police department that do all that so the officers can stay on the other types of calls. So right now we're behind, I guess, one of our least favorite type of positions, which is parking enforcement.
Yep, this is parking enforcement. So this is to add to our collection of acronyms, a PCO, Parking Control Officer. And she just issued a citation here to this car. And right now her duties is to follow that street sweeping truck.
By the way, that was really quick to write a ticket.
Yeah, well, that's
Dang it.
yeah, that's her job. You get good at it. Plus, she uses an electronic device. We don't use paper tickets anymore. So she actually has an automatic ticket writer. So a click of a few buttons and enter in some information about
Dang again.
date, time, and location, and it takes her probably a minute to issue a citation.
So she's following the street sweeper because people haven't taken their cars off the street?
Right. The entire city is broken up into sections, and depending on the neighborhood and the date or the day of the week and so on, the sweeper schedule has these street sweeping trucks passing through your neighborhood. So we have a few of these parking control officers that kind of split up, and they go out to different areas of the city where the sweepers are deployed, and follow the trucks around for any violations. Anybody that happens to leave their vehicle out on the street on sweeper day, and I get it. I've gotten these parking tickets myself, and it is frustrating. But if you look at it, from a bigger perspective, the sweepers are really providing a service, keeping the roadway and the frontage, in front of your home clear of debris and clean. And I'm sure that
So that when we have that rain eventually that we need so badly, it doesn't collect in front of your house?
it doesn't collect in front of your house. It cuts down on pollution overall, you know, whether it's here in Buena Park or eventually ends up in the storm drain and off, you know, to the Pacific Ocean. So, you know, it's I do know that people dislike it, but it's really providing that service again that has kind of been our theme all morning here. And just to kind of add to their role when they're not following the sweeper trucks around, they do get calls that are parking related violations that they'll go to, just like the call earlier when we were talking to Peter, the PSA. Parking control also can get that type of call, and they would go out and mark the car just like Peter did.
So they, unfortunately, I would assume, stay very active in the community. Unfortunately, there's always something. People not parking in the right place or not doing what they should do as far as where they're leaving their car.
Yeah, you know, there could be visitors to the neighborhood. You know, someone that's not aware of the schedule. And honestly, the police department gets calls like that all the time. You know, it's not fair, I got a ticket. And, you know, the thing is, the schedule is set. And even on holidays where the trucks are not running, which are very few, by the way, and you can look on the police department website to see what those dates are. So they're published well in advance. You know, if you live in this house, you know what the sweeper schedule is. So if you have guests or family that are coming to visit that aren't aware of the schedule, then it's your responsibility to share that information with them. Otherwise, the PCO is going to be issuing a parking ticket during sweeper day.
Well, you're right. We have had a lot of acronyms during this show. And with that, we are EOW, it's end of watch. So if you have any questions about today's show, you can call the Buena Park Police Department at 562-3901. With Sergeant Chris Nunez of the Buena Park Police Department, I'm Jane Cameron. Thanks for watching.